Waiting.
Waiting still? Oh wait, the thing said live. Haha, this is awkward now. Hello, welcome to the AZ Snakepit video Roundtable episode. God, I don't know. It says so in the title.
44, I think. I may have just made that up. Go on.
I'm Clefo. That's Kishi. Let's pontificate. So the Diamondbacks did pretty well this week. I'll be honest up front. I didn't see most of it because reasons. But there was a winning road trip in our past. How does that make you feel?
Mildly confused. Yeah, winning road trip and winning series. Did we win 3 series in a row now? So, I mean, that's. And, I mean, there's faint glimmers of hope because at least, one of those series was against the Milwaukee Brewers, who I believe at the time possibly still have the best record in baseball. I may be checking that just to make sure. And it was the team played decently. They had some bad games, but it's nice to see them actually look somewhat respectable. It's hard to tell if this is a big turnaround or if it's just kind of a blip. So I guess we're kind of holding our breath to see how long it's going to carry out. Some good pitching, especially from the new guys who were brought up. So that's definitely inspiring. I don't know if inspiring is the word I meant to use there, but heartwarming was the only other thing that came to mind, and I really know that wasn't what I meant to say. But it's good to see the team looking like they have some life in them.
Yeah, and just to say, the Brewers have the most wins in baseball, but the second highest winning percentage, if that's the thing we want to differentiate between, which why not? And the Diamondbacks themselves are no longer the worst team in baseball. In fact, they're at worst the third worst, depending on who you ask or how you count the numbers.
Huzzah!
Hooray!
We're not the worst team in the National League.
Or the American League if we were there. But yeah, that's the thing now. Yeah, it is kind of strange. It sort of goes with, again, when I'm looking at standings, 3-15 home record, 12-10 road record, which is like, the hell? Maybe, not sure how that's going to even out at some point because that's really bad. Like, really, really bad. Like, do they hate D-back swing that much? I mean, it's only like a minute and a half song. Get over it, you guys.
I think that they were tired of getting Papa John's pizza half off the day after they were at home. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they feel like they need to expand their post-win meal options the day after. So they do that on the road when there are more restaurants to go to and they don't feel obligated to take advantage of the Papa John's thing.
Which is fair enough because Papa John's is shit.
I've always had a policy. This goes back to when I about 10 years ago when I worked in hotels, which was I was willing to eat Papa John's when it was 50% off because we got a discount working at a hotel front desk. And I never thought that opportunity would come up again after I left the hotel, but surprisingly enough, it has. And I will admit I have on occasion taken advantage of it.
I've taken advantage of the 6-run taco offer, so I can't throw stones about that, really. So, Tolkien Bard has joined us. So we were just talking about just wrapping up the week that just happened. Wrap up the week that just happened. Go.
Or maybe he hasn't joined us.
Okay. I'll just continue on then until that gets sorted out. Just going through the things that have happened. Kishi mentioned that there were debuts of some young pitchers. Evan Marshall, apparently according to my phone, when I was sitting in a park on Tuesday, he came in relief against the Brewers and won a game. And Chase Anderson had a very good start today. Do you think that these are just like, oh, that just happened, or do you think these are pieces you could count on in the future, this season or later.
Honestly, my prediction skills as a baseball fan are worse than blind guessing. So it's hard to. I mean, it is really obviously hard to look at them and see if it's going to project. But the thing is, I don't think to make the team better, I don't think we need. I don't think we need perfect outings from them every time. I think if we just get our players, I mean, Evan Marshall's he's what, pitched like an inning and a third, and he hasn't given up a hit or a walk or anything. So I mean, as long as we get these guys and they're willing and they're pitching respectably for the team, then I think that's definitely an upgrade, and that'll hopefully give us a little bit more stability from the mound. And looking at how the team started off in April, that may be the best we can hope for.
Yeah, you figure you might get something from these guys in the future that you could, if you're still out of contention by whatchamacallit, end of July, the trade deadline, then you could probably trade some other guys away and get something back and still be okay, because April was so bad that the season maybe lost a little bit because people say, "Oh, games in September, they count more. Playoff race, you're a hot take." But games in April just count as much, and so yeah.
I would like to know: do you get all of your baseball advice from like crazy prospectors who wander around Tucson?
I spent a lot of hours in Berkeley this week, so kind of the same thing.
Fair enough. Okay. Question withdrawn.
Oh, that happened. Do we have a bard? Is he alive? No? Yes? Maybe? Yeah. This is riveting, I know.
I was here, but you guys keep breaking up, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be sticking on it.
Yeah, well, love is a fleeting thing. And I think it's on your end, so... because we seem to be fine. But just in the interest of this being a live show, I'll keep going. If you get that figured out, just jump right in. Basically, we'll just shift topics to the next upcoming homestand against the Nationals and someone other than the Nationals, because preparation is...
It is our we've got the 3 games against the Nationals and then the 3 games against our main. I don't know. I think they're technically the apex predator of the National League West right now, even though they're in third, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah. So how do you think that's going to go down? I know what you said about prediction skills, but this
I understand. I'm on the show. I've got to do something. I think the Nationals series could be an interesting one. I think it's going to be a series where we'll see if the way the team has played recently is a change in their luck, if they're really playing better, or if it was just a mirage and we happen to catch teams in bad spots. The Nationals are a game over 500. They've dropped their last 3, so they're obviously a little bit better quality than us beating up on the Padres. But I think we'll see. It'll be interesting to see how the team does there, and then the Dodgers notably have not quite to the same degree, but they're pretty. Not to the same degree as the Diamondbacks do, but they have a pretty noticeable road-home split too. They're 7-12 at home and 13-7 on the road. So apparently they hate Los Angeles, as their cable deal may make it seem.
Well, Los Angeles is dumb and smelly, and don't go there. Because the thing about the Diamondbacks is someone pointed it out in the GDT today. And I'm looking at, if you go to Baseball Reference, a team page, there's a game results thing, and it'll have like green bar, you won by this much, or red bar, you lost by this much. All the Diamondbacks green bars so far this season are like and all the red bars are like boom, 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 like that, exactly like that. They even make that sound effect too. So
It really does some upgrades to the page.
yeah, but my point is that we're winning games, but we're not like other than like today. Today was like the first time the Diamondbacks won by more than 3 like this season, which is like wow. I think no, they beat the Giants by 4 on April 9th. Never mind, but only the second time that's happened, which is like ooh, ooh excuse me. But so I'm not sure about that going forward because not all teams can be the 2007 Diamondbacks in that regard, barely winning but always getting blown out when you lose. So I'm skeptical, plus the whole home thing, but, stranger things have happened. Like me making more funny voices on this show.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting week to see how the team turns it around because in theory they're home, they should be a little bit more settled, but maybe they feel like they've got something to prove, and that I will admit that's basically how all of my baseball predictions generally do end with and a shrug. It's an ellipsis, so that's what I've got for you there. That's my not so hot takes.
Sort of lukewarm takes.
Room temperature.
Yeah, kind of nice. Like you set the thermostat like 78. That's fine. Yeah. I'm just going to point out for the National Series, pointed out by TX Zona in the question thread thing, which people should use because this is an interactive medium, and you don't want me just to talk using dumb voices all the time. We face Zimmerman, of the Jordan type, Strasburg, and Pfister. So that is quite the harrowing pitching matchup, especially since we're probably sending out Arroyo, Juan Gutierrez, and Yusmeiro Petit. I don't know. That's what it seems like this season.
Yeah, but not the Yusmeiro Petit who pitched against us. No, we sent out Colementor versus Zimmerman, Arroyo versus Strasburg, and McCarthy versus Pfister. Which,
yeah. We are screwed. And then I think Greinke is part of the Los Angeles upcoming, so he's always fun.
and then we do get Kershaw again.
F that.
Back from that's all right.
Moving on, I'll just thoughts on Anderson's outing and his upside overall. Seems like a solid piece going forward. Here's the thing, I'm not a big prospect maven type person. I'm only aware like, oh, I've heard of this guy before, so maybe he could be good. But he was really good today.
Yeah, no, he did look really good today. Though I mean, I don't know. He looked really good today. I feel like it's the same question you have when every player comes up, when every pitcher comes up from Double A or Triple A. It's a question of how long can he stay in. How long can he stay out in his outings? How long will he pitch on the mound for us? And I'm feeling slightly more optimistic about our bullpen lately. So if he can go out there and give us maybe 6 solid innings in his outings, I mean, we're not expecting Cy Young numbers out of him right off the bat. But yeah, I'm not a huge pitching prospect guy either. I recognized his name, but I don't know where he stacks up, what he's projected for a number 3 or a number J starter. It's a legitimate ranking, I think. But yeah, no, I mean, if we can just get some solid work out of him, I don't think he's supposed to be, top of the line, but middle of the road would be nice because we haven't been getting enough of that, to be honest.
Yeah, I will say about Chase Anderson is that before the season I had heard of him, whereas I could not say the same thing about Mike Bolsinger, so take that for what it's worth. I'm trying to look for up-to-date prospect lists, rankings, that people do, and I'm trying to see if his name's there. Okay, on the minorleagueball.com, which is a SB Nation site about minor league ball, as the website name implies, has Chase Anderson just outside the top 20 prospects, and this was from February of this year. So, take that for what it's worth. And I don't, again, just to pile on him because it's fun, I don't see a Mike Bolsinger. And apparently we have someone named Jordy Parra, who John Sickles has nicknamed Lieutenant Commander Jordy Parra, so good reference there.
How do we get him to the major leagues as soon as possible? This is what is important to me right now.
Someone more knowledgeable about that sort of thing can tell you better than I can. But I'm just scrolling through this. That's where he is right now in our system. But if you get something out of him, why not? You could, he might be the next Barry Enright, but he might stick around, like Josh Colementor. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm looking at Beyond the Box Score, another SB Nation site. They have their top 36 prospects from March for the Diamondbacks, and they've got Chase Anderson as just having dropped off the list for the top 35.
He was in Double-A, and he's only slightly younger than I am. And
that's true.
And I'm 27, so just for context. So that probably is why he had trouble staying up. But if he's up now, that's cool. Whatever.
No Mike Bolsinger on the list, which I don't want to make. I don't want to make this too awkward for him if he's watching. I'm sorry, dude. I'm just reading what other people write.
You had a good start against someone. I remember that happening. Can't remember against the team, but I'm sure it was great.
Motivational speaking for baseball players, not on the list of things this show is here for.
Hey, you make way more money than I do, even as a minimum contract guy, so you got that going for you.
Yeah.
So moving on, again, ask questions in the thread about stuff because that gives us things to talk about. You haven't. We brought this up a few weeks ago, but you hadn't started yet, and that made me and Soko angry. So Mass Effect.
Yeah, I'm playing that for the past couple of weeks. I just recently made it to Novaria and realized that Matriarch Benazia is under some sort of mind control from Saren. That was a pretty tough scene, I think, for Liara, because I accidentally brought her along on the mission. That seemed very upsetting for her. But generally my problem is that, man, first off, I'm supposed to be this elite soldier, and they're like, yeah, great, congratulations, you're hired, and now we need you to buy all of your own equipment. Come on. Isn't there like a requisitions department or something here? And second, the council just, Saren's a Spectre, he can go and do whatever he wants, but Shepard's a Spectre, and, maybe we'll kind of listen to you after you basically bring in every sort of absolute proof that there's something terrible going on. But on the other hand, I may have let the Rockne Queen go free, and I don't know if that's going to have terrible repercussions later on for the galaxy. But you know what? I'm pretty happy with that choice.
Yeah, I should point out Matriarch Benazia, just to get our second TNG reference of the day, voiced by Mariana Sirtis. Counselor Troy, to you and me. And yeah, the council, they basically handle things like Kirk Gibson handles bullpens, which I have to credit you for that line because you said it in the email.
I got distracted actually talking about the video game before I managed to work it back to baseball.
Yeah.
Priorities, Devin.
That actually sort of brings me up to a sort of a thing that I've noticed the past whenever I've watched stuff is that why the hell does Kirk Gibson hate Lukey's named Joe? Because first he basically killed Joe Patterson in 2012 because, oh, this sidearm lefty or guy who, you know, right-handers can't totally see all their stuff from should, you know, try to get both handedness people out. And then he does the same damn thing with Joe Thatcher, which is like, what a joke. Because there was a game it was Friday's game, where he left Joe Thatcher in against I think it was Beckham for the White Sox, and he hits a home run. It's like, oh, okay, what do you think was going to happen there? And that's just like happened all the time. And the frustrating thing is that Gibby sort of adheres to these handedness like splits and stuff when he's setting his lineups, but he seems to think, oh, every one of my bullpen should be able to get out all sorts of you know types of people, but he doesn't trust the same with his hitters. What the hell, man?
I don't know. I feel like, okay, first off, I'm just gonna say in Kirk Gibson's defense, I don't think Kirk Gibson would ever almost kill somebody. If Kirk Gibson's gonna kill a man, he's gonna kill a man. But yeah, I mean, I really have felt a little shaky on a lot of our bullpen decisions for, I don't know, the past year and a half, I guess, because, and I guess part of it is I don't look out there at the bullpen and think, oh, this is a guy who I'm going to rely on in a tough situation most of the time, except for maybe Brad Ziegler, and even he has problems. But, so I don't know if Gibson doesn't feel comfortable going to the bullpen, or if, I don't know if there's an old school reference that I can work in here about people need to just work through it. But some hashtag grit, because that's not overused. But yeah, sometimes he just makes decisions that are just mystifying to me. I mean, in bullpen management and in the lineup.
Cody Ross must bat fifth. But yeah, it's one of the things that's like, if you look at any sort of like hardcore data like thing, it basically says managers can just do the bare minimum not to screw up. So it's like, oh, cool, but Gibby sort of does the things that you sort of can screw up, like the things within the manager's control, like directly. You know, it's his job just to put the players in the best part to succeed and let them do the rest. It's like all the coaching of the four major sports. I would say baseball managing is probably the easiest in terms of game strategy, not the whole trying to what's it called get managed personalities, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see that, and yeah, I feel like baseball probably is, like, in a way, it's kind of, because a lot of the decisions it seems like you could almost in a way just do by the numbers, but I don't know, some of those numbers just don't get checked. So, and I was going to try to make a third TNG reference to work in earlier with where you were referring to data, but I just can't do it. Sorry.
Oh, we've got time to shoehorn in one more. Let's go back to the thread, because there's been stuff. There's been stuff. You guys excited for E3? Says TXOTA. Here's the thing: when Paul Goldschmidt makes an error, I'm never excited for that. So shame on you. Shame on you.
The only thing I would necessarily be interested for in E3 right now, my entire video game world is consumed, occupied fully by Dragon Age Inquisition.
Damn straight.
That's the only thing that matters. Everything else is just wasting my time.
Yep, yep. Do we have the bard back?
Yes, you do. Finally.
Woohoo! Vertical video. Let's just breeze through some of these questions, and I'll agree with you about Dragon Age Inquisition because I've seen stuff and it makes me feel funny in my inside. Let's go to a bunch of Soko questions because that's fun. What's the best type of cheese? I'm gonna throw down for pepper jack.
I'm gonna go with Gouda here. I'm a Gouda fan.
Yeah, the smoked Gouda is pretty damn good.
Just quick recipe. What you do is you get a roll of crescent rolls. You take them, you separate it apart, and you basically set them with the triangles together with the points facing out. You take a block of Gouda, you put it in the middle, and you fold the crescent rolls up over. Bake that at like 350 degrees for like 20 minutes, and it gets all gooey and delicious. It's amazing. That's a Gouda ball. That's my tip for you. That's right. Maybe I'm just treading into Fang food territory here. You gonna take that? He said in a blind challenge to people who aren't here.
Yeah, Pat bailed on us. Maybe that's why. He was like, oh, not gonna mess with that guy. Here's one from Soko. You guys want to drop some E?
Oh, pass.
I don't even have an answer to that. I'm sorry. The only thing that comes to mind is my mom watches this, Soko. Come on, dude. You have children.
Also from Soko, where is Las Vegas, New Mexico? I'm going to tell you right now if Google Maps will ever zoom out.
It's northeast of Albuquerque.
Well, there you go. Someone knows stuff about New Mexico.
I was born there.
I did not know that. I withdraw the question.
There we go. Actually, it wasn't your question. It was just your.
Yeah.
I guess your outburst of.
Actually, a better answer would have been directly east of Santa Fe. So.
I was born in Albuquerque, not Santa Fe. So, I don't know.
Is that like a sort of very, very, very lesser version of the Tucson Phoenix pissing match?
Oh, I don't know.
In New Mexico, Albuquerque and Santa Fe.
I moved when I was like a year old, and I just gone back to visit my grandmothers when they lived there. So.
So go. Does your mom want to drop some E?
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Let us know in the comments. I mean, yeah. I'm pretty sure my mom does it. So yeah.
Yeah, I would say my mom probably doesn't either.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet, but you never know, I guess. Moving on to an actual. This is from Grimmy01. Who's your pick for best prospect of the Diamondbacks organization? Not named Archie Bradley. Braden Shipley. Mike, phone drop.
Braden Shipley is probably my number 2, simply because Sherfy is going to be a back bullpen 1 inning at a time kind of guy. But if you were to ask me who I think is going to have the best shot at making it to the bigs and sticking, not named Bradley, Sherfy. But yeah, Braden Shipley would definitely be the number 1 not named Bradley with a high ceiling and real impact.
I'm not going to challenge Tolkien Bard in this particular arena, so yeah, I will. Braden Shipley sounds like the best choice to me. That was why I just went quiet and let him answer it first. It seemed like a best strategy.
Okay. I think that's good. Some other names, I guess, to watch. That might be there. Sherfy's another one. Again, I'm basing this on if I've vaguely heard of this person and people say good things about them, that's high in my prospect ranking. That I think that's the best system to do. Or I could drop some E and then look at prospect lists and then come up with stuff from there. That might be good. But yeah, some other guys. I think Jake Lamb's an interesting one. Aaron Blair, Brandon Drury might be the only worthwhile piece from the Upton trade when all is said and done, which is kind of sad. But guys like that.
We also have Stites and Barrett coming up. I mean, we've got the makings of an absolutely dominant bullpen that nobody's ever going to want to face if it somehow occurs that all of our guys actually make it and stick. What we went with Marshall, Stites, Barrett, and Sherfy all in the back of the bullpen, and that's just not fair. I don't know if all of them can make it and stick, though. So, and even if they can, I don't know that they'll all still be with the team by the time we get to that point.
Yeah. Soko again. Who's your pick for best prospect in the Diamondback system? Sebi sharing a name with a board game company. Well, he said intentionally dumbly, Jared Parker got traded away a few years ago, so not him. Joe Brother, Fred Milton. I don't know who you could be talking about.
I will say, while we're on the topic, vaguely related to the topic, we're not even anywhere near the topic, but my best choice for a Diamondbacks prospect who is possibly has a best name for an X-Men villain, though, Striker Trahan. Especially with the Y there.
Yeah, I love the name. I just wish the guy could hit.
Yeah, well, they moved him to the outfield because reasons of that certainly helps. I don't know. Yeah, that one might seem like a bit of a when all said and done, but you never know. 6-game homestand. We talked about the Nats and Dodgers earlier. Come on, people. Watch the time. I am shaming you because you did not adhere to our schedule.
Objection. They do the question in Grimio one's defense. Their question is specifically thoughts on our record for those 6 games, which we did not discuss.
0-6.
I would be glad to see us go 3-3 in that.
I'd be happy with 3-3. I have a feeling we're probably headed towards 2-4, though.
0-14. They're just gonna do it. It's gonna be like, wait, that doesn't make sense with numbers. But it's gonna happen. And Kevin Towers will get a 3-year extension from it.
0-14, yet still somehow managing to pick up 1 game from the Nationals.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, scheduling done by High Priests of Cthulhu or somehow.
Yeah, I don't see any more questions, and I've run out of stuff to talk about on my end that I could just BS. So if you guys want to bring something up, do so.
Tolkien Bard wasn't here for most of our earlier discussions. Did you have any thoughts on the last few series or the upcoming?
I don't know where this pitching's been all along. It's obviously, I don't think it's even close to expected to be sustainable with the going 6 and 7 innings, giving up 0 and 1 runs, with the exception of when we dropped an egg in Chicago. But I like what I see. I still wish Gibby would stop playing Pennington quite so much, but that's kind of more one of my personal pet peeves, I think. I'm just about ready to see Brandon McCarthy in the bullpen. I don't care that he's making $10 million this year, but I don't think that they'll move him there at least before the before the trade deadline, because if he goes to the bullpen, there's zero chance of trading him. If he keeps making starts, they can hope that he does something good, and maybe somebody picks him up for a bag of batting practice balls or something at the trade deadline. I liked what we did in Milwaukee. It helps that they didn't have Braun, so they had a big hole in the middle of their lineup. But I'll take what we can get. The Nationals is going to be interesting. Strasburg has not been very tight this year, but he's a strikeout pitcher, and well, we've got some guys on the lineup that like to strike out, so we'll see if we can keep it up.
And with the with our recent contributions from guys we just called up to the minors, do you feel like those are sustainable, or how do you think they're are they going to be long-term pieces that'll help out the team? I mean, obviously, I don't think we're going to keep getting scoreless innings from Evan Marshall, but
I don't know how long we'll keep getting scoreless innings from Evan Marshall, but I absolutely think he can stick. His changeup is faster than Bronson Arroyo's fastball, so I mean, it gives some perspective to the soft throwers we actually have in the rotation. But I think between the two of them, Evan Marshall is the more likely to actually stick and continue contributing throughout the season. I loved the outing he had today. But he's a guy who's always going to rely on having a good game call, knowing how to pitch, and hitting his spots, because his fastball does not move much. And although he has a curveball, it's kind of an inferior curveball. It's barely a third pitch. His changeup is sick, but I don't know how long he'll get by with just fastball, changeup, and a sort of curve. He made the White Sox look kind of silly today, but we'll see it happens in another 2 or 3 starts. I'd like to see us get, the rest of the season out of the guy. Get 15 total starts maybe out of him with an ERA around 3.5. That'd be great. But I'm not sure that I'm not sure he has the tools to get it done unless that curveball gets a little bit better.
Cool. Yeah. Just to wrap up quickly these last 3 Soko questions. Why isn't 1 a prime? Just switching. I looked at Yahoo Answers because that's a treasure trove of inanity, and I'm trying to find the best answer to that. And my favorite one is just, it's not a prime number? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. And there's some actual real answers, but I don't feel like reading them. Learn something about math, kids.
the short version. Okay, there's 2 reasons I was told why 1 is not a prime number. Answer number 1: because a prime number has 2 factors, itself and 1, whereas 1 only has 1 factor. And the other answer that I was told was because your algebra teacher told you it wasn't.
Because I said so, that's why.
Yes. Because it's in the book that it's not a prime number.
Stop it. Let's let me drink during Algebra 2 class. Will the Nationals ever live down the Nationals?
Not as long as I continue to write recaps for the Arizona Snakepit.
Yeah, they could win. They could go on a win like 5 World Series in a row, and it's really like, Nationals.
They could change their name to the Senators, and I'd still call them the Nationals.
Or they'll be called the Centaurs.
The Centaurs. Ooh! The Washington Centaurs!
Centaurs. But yeah. Any possibility Manley gets fired before Gibson this season? That would be hilarious, and I'd love to see that. So, maybe it could happen if the Dodgers are still like sort of But
I don't think.
But I don't. But
they started out so badly last season, and he was, packing his boxes on his way out. They don't win this series, you're fired kind of thing. And then he turned around and they ran away with an 800 winning percentage the rest of the season and got to the playoffs, and he got an extension, and now he's rolling in the money. I don't think that they fire him no matter how bad things get until the end of the season, just because they now know that this team can turn it around in a heartbeat, and they've seen him do it before, so they might as well get what they're paying for out of the guy and keep him till the end of the season, because nobody's going to want to go there anyway if they run Mattingly out of town. That's not the job that people are going to be lining up for.
I think that it'll happen if, say, around the All-Star break, the Dodgers are in 4th or 5th place, Mattingly is fired, and Puig declares himself player, captain, manager of the team.
Honestly, from what I said about managers, could it be any better or worse? So.
The awkward point will be in about mid-August, where Puig will sit himself for 3 games for not showing enough hustle on the field.
Man, that is some weird Lars von Trier stuff. I don't know. It's like, okay. One last question, an off-topic question from Grimio1. If you could see one of these movies, which would you see? Godzilla, the new X-Men movies, or the third movie on this list, which I'm not going to say because screw Michael Bay. I'm going to say X-Men, because I actually saw a preview for that, because I saw the second Spider-Man movie, which I enjoyed. Take that for what it's worth. But I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. I'd see that.
They're all options to kill time until Guardians of the Galaxy comes out for me. So probably X-Men Days of Future Past, but I am going to see it under a minor protest of how I'm kind of tired of how everything X-Men has to revolve around Wolverine.
No doubt. Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. Out of those 3, it would be the X-Men movie. I tend to share Cliff's feelings about Michael Bay, and I love the classic Godzilla. That's good enough for me. I will eventually see this one, I'm sure. But if I'm actually going to drop any kind of money, it would probably be for the X-Men film, although I really am sick of Wolverine getting all the storylines up to and including them deciding that Scott Summers and Cyclops just weren't cool enough, so they gave all his parts to Wolverine and killed Cyclops off. Just wasn't right.
Well, and then in this story, they're giving Kitty Pryde's part to Wolverine. So, Fox, if you want to use the AZ Snakepit Roundtable for your ads, begrudgingly endorsed by at least 3 moderators.
Well, they started doing movie ads where it's they have random things on Twitter, oh, Boner Ward 44 says see this movie. So is that a real Twitter handle? I'm going to find out. No, it is not. That Twitter handle is actually still available if you want it. So if you take nothing. If you take nothing else with this roundtable episode, it's that. I think that's a good spot to stop as any. For myself, Tolkien Bard Kishi, join us next week, same time, I think. And go to azstakebit.com, follow it on Twitter, like it on Facebook, yada yada yada. You know how this goes already. You've probably watched more than one episode at this point, where it's Well, it's not but it's the spiel becomes you guys know what I'm going to say at the end. So, yeah, if nothing else, I'm going to hit this button so it doesn't close the window. And you all have a good night and a good week.
Good night.